Heidi ho, Heidi ho, Heidi ho, my friends. How about we try this again on our signatures? Let's do this one more time. Okay, so let's work on some signatures in our book, shall we? So last I left you, we had created this strip for our signatures, and we had glued everything in our book, remember? We had glued the cover for our book, and we had glued this. And this little booger, I cannot get to stay down. Oh, that's right, I didn't glue it because I was going to sew it. Never mind. See how quickly I forget. That's okay. I always forget things. So that is no big deal to me. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out your signatures. Now I've created my 3. Okay. And I've marked top. And I have it clipped in the center of my signatures, just like this. Okay. And I have my signatures all stacked together. See my 3 paper clips? 1, 2, 3. My signatures are all stacked together. And I have them paper clipped, so I know where they're going to end. And I have 5 pages per signature. Okay, so I have 5 individual pages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is the next signature. Okay, so I figured that would give us plenty. That way we can add lots of fun stuff. And I went on and I poked my little holes in my cardstock, so I knew which ones I wanted, and the ones I don't want, I didn't poke the holes in. Okay, because I don't want that row, and I don't want that row. So I've poked the holes in the ones I want. I just popped them. And I'm going to take my awl. Now I have my book sitting on just an old cutting board. This is just an old cutting board. It's got glue on it like this. It's got glue. It's got old paint. It's just got all kinds of stuff on it. And the reason I have that on it is I don't want my book to slip. And this is kind of textured. So I don't want my book slipping, okay? So, hold on just a minute. Let me grab something here. Hold on. Okay, I wanted to take my sweater off. Okay. Now, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to take my awl. Let me turn this way. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, when I do this, I'm going to pull my pages. I have them all paper clipped together here. Just one paper clip. And I have these 2 clamps holding this in place against all my pages. Okay? So I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to pull my pages forward, and I'm not going to put my hand against there, okay? I'm going to pull it forward, and I'm going to poke it through. Okay, there it is. There's the first one right there. Okay, now take it out and pick top or bottom. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it there. Okay, and I just usually put my thumb on it. I'll pull my pages forward. Oh, that one went through easy. And I'm going to push it through. Okay. And I'm going to do the bottom the same way. Okay, and that one's through. Okay, now I've got all my holes punched, Let me turn them over and I can show them to you. And they're all lined up at the same. All my holes. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Okay. So now I'm going to take my book. Now, I've been trying to decide, do I want to punch the holes in my book or do I want to do a hidden spine? So I did a test punch to see how well it would show. I punched 1 hole. It has already disappeared into the fabric. I cannot find it anywhere. Am I on the top? No, my book is upside down. That's the top. I can feel it, but the fabric has covered it up. Let me see if I can punch it back through. Yeah, but by the time I get ready to sew it, it's going to disappear again. So I'm just going to cover it back up, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to go like this and smush it down. Because if you remember, this really isn't part of the book. Okay, we're going to do a hidden spine. So let me show you how we do that. Okay, we're done with this for right now. We're going to put that off to the side. Now, in here, right here, we don't need another piece of this heavy-duty board that we put in here. All we need is a piece of cardstock. Oh, this will work. So I'm going to use maybe a piece of this. Oh, this one's a little bit heavier. Yeah, that one's good. Okay, so I'm going to cut. Let's see if I have one cut a little bit smaller. Is that long enough? No. All right, so I'm going to cut 2 pieces to fit down here. Here's my... Now, I'm going to go on and take this off, but I'm going to leave my pages clamped together. That way they stay together. Because I want this to be to measure. Right here. Because that'll help me make sure that this is the right length and width. Yeah, now this is 110-pound cardstock. It's not just, it's not something that's like paperweight or anything like that. It's kind of sturdy. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this over since we bent it. Okay. Let's mark it here. And here. Okay. Now I want to save that. Let's get this up here out of my way so I can see. All right, we'll put that back over in the scraps. Okay, that can go in our little scrap box for what we're doing. All right, I think I might need 2 of them though. I'm just going to glue 2 of these together. Okay. So I'm just going to glue this. And because I got glue there, I'm just going to try to cover that up. And we're going to put that right there. And let's cut that out real quick. Okay, so I want to put a piece of fabric on this. Oh, it's still kind of wiggly. Let's see what we have here in our scraps. Ouch! Just close the drawer on my finger. Okay. I think that might still be a little too thin. Let me see if I have a cereal box we can attach to that. Hold on a minute, you guys. Okay, so I have a piece of a cereal box here that I think we're going to use. Let's take this off of here. We don't want that on there. Let's put that in the trash. We'll put that there. I think my glue stick will be good enough. Since we're going to sew everything in. Oops. Okay. There we go. Okay. Make sure everything's good and even here. And we're going to trim it off. Now, this is going to be the part that that is seen, you know, when we look down. So I think what I'm going to do here is, because I wanted that red to be seen. Okay, I don't need these little pieces, but I think I will keep that little piece. Is I'm going to see if, where'd our book go? Got it upside down again. Let's see if we can take this piece off. Since we only glued the edges. Ah, hot diggity. It is a woman's prerogative to change her mind. All right, let's see if I can get the bottom piece off. I love it. There we go. Okay, so I want to take this piece and I'm going to put that on here like that. And before I do, I want to ink up these sides really well. Because I don't want them to be naked. Oh, that's black. I don't want black. I want this. And I don't want this. Oh, that's black. I didn't want black. This needs a little trim down here. Okay. Now, let's see if I like that. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to glue this in. I'm still going to just glue the edges because we're going to sew through it. So I don't see any need in, gluing the whole thing because I've already got these pieces glued. And then we're going to glue this to that. So I'm just going to glue the edges down. Okay. So let's take this. And I'm just going to put some glue across here. Here. Make sure I got my edges well. Okay. Yeah, the less glue you have to sew through, the better off you are. Okay, there we go. That's what we're going to sew our signatures onto. Okay. So now, you're going to take your signatures. Now, whatever way you stack them, and whatever way you poked your holes in, that's the way you have to sew them. Okay, so before you do that, make sure it's the way you want them. Okay, so I'm going to carefully take these apart. And as I take one off, I am going to make sure. Let's see. Oh, this is the top. My paper clips are the top. Yeah, make sure you mark your place. That's the top. Okay. And then I'm going to put this back so that they're not scooting around like that. I always start at the back. You can start at the front. You can start however you want. But I always start with the back signature. Now, here it is. I always start on the back. That way I know that that's where I'm headed. Okay. So I'm going to poke my holes here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Let me grab a clamp here so this is not scooting. Just getting my book again. Now, I always keep these, and on the back of it, I write the information about the journal that I've made. So I would write the day that I completed the journal, what it looks like, the size of this size, the length, and I'll show you after we get done here how I do it. So I'm not going to lose that. Let's get those up out of the way. Let's get our thread out of our sewing box. Okay, we don't need that one either. Okay, and since I'm not going to see this, I'm just going to use, let's see, I know I have one that's already started. This one. Now for your needle selection, and I know a lot of you have already done this, but I have a lot of new subscribers that I want to make sure that have not. Now where's the cap to this? Here it is. I want to make sure that they know what I'm doing. Keep your tip on your awl, because trust me, it hurts. For your needle selection, you only want a needle that's big enough to go through the hole. You don't want one that's so big that it's going to make the hole bigger. Okay, those are too big. Okay. So this one. So it has to be big enough for your thread to go through, big enough to go through your project, but not big enough to cause your, come here you, but not big enough to create your hole, make your hole bigger. Come on. Silly goose. Oh, that's not it. Well, that's not going to help. Where's my... Well, all else fails. Use a straight pin. Because I can't find my little pokey tool that I'm looking for. There it goes. Okay. There. Now, I'm going to be putting little charms at the end. So I'm going to be putting most likely, so I'm going to measure 3. You will see some creators that don't even cut it off of here. Other creators use 2.5. Okay, so you're going to start in the middle. Oops, missed the hole. Well, now I got a new hole. Okay, I'm going to start in the back. And see, they're already disappearing. Oh dear, I've already lost it in my fabric. So the hole's right there. So it is right there. Yep, so my fabric's already closing up on them. All right, let me get my awl back. Okay, needle, come here. There we go. Okay, there's one. Okay, I think I'm going to have to get a bigger needle. All right, I need a bigger needle. All right, let's get a bigger needle. Okay, if you find you have that problem, it's time for a bigger needle. Okay, we don't need that. But we do need a bigger needle. Let's go with this one. Because you should not have that problem when you're pulling. Whoops, I got 2 needles. That's not good. And I poked my hand. All right, let's get a Band-Aid out of my drawer here. And the one thing you need to keep on your desk are Band-Aids. So let's put a Band-Aid on it. Oh, look, it's a little owl. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so I'm going to pull that through. Now you don't want to pull this. You don't want to pull this all the way through. Okay, you want to leave a tail. Then you want to either go to the top or the bottom. I always go to the bottom. And you want to poke it through. And then you want to poke through the hole in your paper. Okay. And the first one will wiggle. That'll be your hardest for you because there's nothing to hold that little piece of paper that you have there. Okay, pull it through. Make sure it's straight. Now come all the way up to the top. Now at this point, take it through your paper first. Now come back to the back and find your hole. Okay. Now you need to go back to the center. Pull this one down, and you're going to aim this one kind of up because you don't want to split that. And I just saw another creator try this, and she did not have any problems, but of course, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. I just put mine straight through the paper. There it is. You don't want to split your threads. You want it to come straight through. So you want one on each side of your center thread. And you want to pull it through. Okay, you don't want any loosey-gooseys. So you want this to sound, nope, not tight. So let's check the back. Okay, the back is good. So we want to snug it up. It's getting there. Ah, there we go. We're getting there. All right, let's check the back again. Okay, listen. I want you to listen. Here. Okay. Now let's listen here. Hear that? We're good. So we can take it off of there. Now I tie it twice because I don't want my needle slipping, or my knot rather. I don't want my knot slipping. And I pull these down so they hang down. Take out my paper clip. I fold the back over the front. And I squish them down. Okay, now it's on to the next one. Okay, now remember, your paper clip, or my paper clip, is the top, because I almost put this one in upside down. Yeah, I always do that for some reason. Now we're going to do this again. Now this time it's going to be easier because I have something holding that down. It's not going to squish around. It's not going to flop around. I have something holding that in place. Now the only problem I might have is seeing those holes again because they've already disappeared. So if I do, I can come in from the back. So let's try this again and see how well it works. So again, we're going to come in from the center. And this is really easy. I can usually get these in no time at all. Okay. All right, we're going to have to use our awl here. Repoke our center hole. Let's make it bigger. There we go. Oops. Get off the top. Now, don't think you're the only one ever having problems with signatures, because you're not. All journal makers do. Now, your very first stitch is, your opportunity. Now, I'm going to use this to hold those in place, because that's where I want them to sit. All journal makers have these problems. So don't think, you're going to be the only one having them, or you're going to have problems. You're not. Everybody has them. We all have these issues of, things not working the way we want them to, things wiggling around, it just happens. That's part of the creative fun. And then back in the middle. Come on, back in you go. Oh, now look what I did. Look what I did. I sewed it, but I didn't include the paper. I was just whipping right along, wasn't I? Oh, good gracious. And you see why I did it? Right there. I closed it up. I only meant to close this half up. And instead, I did the whole thing. Silly girl. That's what I meant to do. But instead, I did the whole thing. Oh my gosh. I was telling you all not to worry about it, and here I went and did it. Oh my goodness. All right, how about we put it into the paper now? How about we do it this way now? Every time I do this on camera, I have problems. Never fails. But when I do it by myself, they're in and out in no time. There we go. Well, it did make the hole bigger in the fabric, though. Okay, let's pull that out. Yeah, now you want to make sure your signatures are nice and taut. You don't want a squishy signature that, can wiggle around, because it will wiggle on you as we work on them, and your knot comes loose. They will wiggle, and they will get very, very loose. All right. Okay, so this one's going to go here. So I'm going to take this off the back. I'm going to make sure everything's where I want it. And I'm going to paper clip the back part of it to there. Now, 2 and 3. Okay. Now, we're done with that. Let's pull that through. All right, we're going to start in the middle. Okay, this is the last one. No, we're going to have to use this to go back through. Come on. Now I know you're right there. I can see you almost. Right there. Gotcha. Okay. Now I can see you right there. Now, have you guys started your journals yet? Have you picked out what you're going to make and how you're going to decorate yours? So I've been thinking about our signatures and how we're going to decorate them and how we're going to keep them, you know, from getting to the gator mouth. You know, that was our goal, not to have a gator mouth. Well, let me tell you, it's been difficult, you guys. It truly has. So I've been looking at some of my favorite creators and, you know, trying to look at some of their things because there's one in particular that I like, and I'm going to link her YouTube videos because she does a great job of not having gator mouths, and she uses a lot of scraps. There's actually 2 of them that I like. They use scraps a lot. And I think you'll enjoy them if you don't already follow them. If you do, let me know. I'll link their videos down below. It's Kathleen Mower and Kenlon. I love their videos. They're both so friendly and so creative. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to link their YouTube channel down below. There we go. All right. So let's get this tied. And I always look to them for good uses of scraps. All right, so we've got these sewed in. There we go. Our pages are sewed in. Let's go and take these paper clips off. Get them out of the way. Now, we're going to go on and get this. Now, I'll put this over here. So, let me go on and put that in there. Now, we're going to go on and get this glued in. But before I do that, I want to go on and add my buttons on here. So, we need to bring this back because I want a button closure on here. Now, where'd my buttons go? And I was looking through my buttons, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to use that one on the front or one of my big wooden buttons. I love that button, but I also need a button in the back. So I have a big white button too. But I don't have 2 white buttons. Oh wait, is this a white one? Yes, it is. Are they about the same? They're about the same. So I want to put back here, here, and here like that. And then I want to put around it and then bring up front our closure. But I also have these fun wooden buttons to use. So I have lots of fun different wooden buttons. And I actually found one that has blue. That's blue. I just have to find it now. Now that's purple. I found one that was blue. I like that one. I like that one with it. And there was... Where's the silly blue one? There it is. That was the blue one. That one's black. And that one had blue. But I liked that one and that one. But I don't think these are big enough. This one was big enough for the front. But then in my big button over here, I found those. And I also found that one. And that one. You know, which is kind of like that one. Now, some of these are antique buttons and some of them aren't. But, you know, some of them are way too little. So, I think I like that one, actually. So I think I like that one. And I was going to use my elastic cord. That's braiding cord. I was going to use my elastic cord for it. Well, where did it? Here it is. I was going to use my elastic cords for it, but they're not very strong. Well, then I found these. These are really big rubber bands. And I know in different states and different things, everybody calls them by different names. And I happen to have a blue one. I didn't have a red one though, but I did have a blue one. Because my other stuff, now I did have braiding cord that was really pretty in the blue. But I just thought that would be fun. Now, then I had to run it through my head. So what are you going to do if that breaks, Lori? Well, if it breaks, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm just going to be in trouble. So then I found this really pretty braiding cord, but it's not very thick. This one's not very thick. It's like a hemp cord that's been dyed. So that got chucked to the side. So you all can see it has taken me a while to figure out what to do. And then I found this braiding cord. I think they're supposed to use this like for bracelets. Kids use this for bracelets and stuff. And then I found this thicker braiding cord. Now this I think will work. But they didn't have this in pretty colors. This is the only colors I could find this in. Were these three colors. So the tan goes fine with this. And this pack, this one was really thin again. But this one is thicker. This one's got a thicker to it. So I think it would hold up better. So I think this is what I'm going to use. Because if this breaks in the future, I don't know how I would replace it. Even though I really do like it, I really don't know how I'd be able to replace it once I had it attached back there. And that could be a problem. I'd have this silly thing hanging out and not know how to replace it. So, even though I liked it, I'm going to have to play with that idea another time. So, for now, I think we're going to use this braiding cord. And, Although I do like this one. This one's thicker too. All right, so let's see about these two braiding cords. Let's put our non-stretchy jute away. So I want to be able to wrap around this, you know, however I want to wrap around it. And I was going to use Kathleen Mower, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to link her. And I wanted this color. That was why I decided on this. This is my final decision, you guys. Right here. So for this one, yeah, so there were a lot of decisions going into how am I going to close up this journal. Normally, I just wrap a piece of ribbon around it and call it a day. So for this one, back here, I'm going to take my Crocodile Big Bite, and I'm going to put it on 1/8, and I'm going to go on and spin this around now. I don't need it right this minute, but I'm going to go on and set it up. And okay, I'm ready to get my hole punched here. Let me mark my center. So I'm in the middle. Where's my... Oh, I can't see this silly one. Where's my metal ruler? Okay, right there. All right, this could very possibly shake the camera. If it does, I do apologize. Okay. 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 Now let me grab my eyelets. Okay. My little eyelets, my 1/8 inch. Let me show them to you. They're right here. They were too short, the throat, this part, right here. This was too short for the book, for this part. It wouldn't go through. So I had to re-punch the hole for bigger, so I just punched through the same hole to make it bigger and added a bigger eyelet. It just barely fit, but it fit. So I can put a little bit of glue around it, but you can see where it did fit, thank goodness. So let me put these in the box here and close the box up so I don't knock it on the floor. All right. And then put this away. And now what I want to do with this here. Oh, do I have this upside down? Yes, I do. It's going to go this way. Is I want to take this and I want to string it through here. And I want it to be adjustable kind of thing. So cut this off and put this on here like this. Okay, let me pull this back through because it's not even. Okay, let me get my ends even. Okay, so I'm going to put my ends even. And I'm going to tie a little knot. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it through here. And I'm just making a little slip knot with it. And then my little button, this little button here, is going to go here. And then this is going to wrap around. Underneath this is going to go a little tiny button, like this one. It's going to get glued right here to lift it up off of here so it's not flat. So my glue is right here so that it'll do that. So it's a button on a button. So this button will keep the big button from sitting flat on the book. So it's going to sit here. Oh wait, there's thread there. I forgot about that. So let's put the glue on the thread. And then on the inside here where the little button has the little concave, we're going to put that. And then we're going to put a big old blob of glue down on that button. And we're going to line this up. And we're going to put it right there. And I'm just going to hold it for a second while I put these buttons away. And drop this in the drawer. And then we're going to glue in our signatures. And then everything will have an opportunity to glue overnight. We're going to let that lay flat. Now our signatures are ready to be glued in. So for our signatures, make sure if you have fabric on yours already, make sure that it's pulled out. Take your glue. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac. Now, you want to make sure that your glue, and you want a heavy-duty glue for this. Do not use a glue stick. Glue stick is not going to work. But it does not have to be Fabri-Tac. It can be like your tacky glues. It can be, you know, something like that. Something that's good and strong, okay? And you want to make sure your edges have got a good amount of glue. And then go down in between your strings. You want this whole piece covered. Normally, I do not glue this much. But you need glue on this because this is what is supporting everything in your book. Okay? Now, take your pages, get it lined up, and lift up. Make sure this is going the right direction. I have one page in here that'll make sure. Where are my people? Yep. Okay. and then push it down with your hands. Okay, you need to make sure that that is sitting where you want it to sit. Okay. Push it down. Now go to the middle of your signatures and push in here on the outside, and see where it's still showing a little bit. I'm going to come in and I'll be putting in some lace. See how flat it's laying right now? I can put a book over it. I can put anything I want over the top of it right now to help it dry. The best thing to help it dry is to keep it closed like this. Okay? Keep your book closed. So this is why I have these great big twisties like this. I put these around my books. These are just, you know, those hair bands that girls use that have really thick hair. That would be me. Now, I'm going to leave it like this overnight. And I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to let it stand on the spine just like this. Okay? And I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to wrap that around anything there. I'm just going to let it hang off on my table, and I'm just going to let it dry. Now, on this that I told you about, on the back of it, I'm going to write December 2024 Small Floral Journal, eight and a half inches tall. And how wide is it? Now's the time to measure how tall it is. 5 3/4 inches tall. I mean wide. Three signatures. Five pages each. There we go. That's the information that I put on there. And that is 1.5 inches. And now I keep this. So if I ever need to make another journal that's 1.5 inches wide and meets these two dimensions, I already have one made, and I already have it measured out for, I can sew with 4. There we go. So I hope you all had a super day today, and I hope you had some fun, and I hope you are making a journal with me, because I have so many fun ideas on things that we can do to decorate this little journal and not give it a gator mouth. That's our goal, remember? Let's not give our journal a gator mouth. I hope we can do it, you guys. I really do, because that's a big goal for me, and I've never done that in all my years of making journals. I don't think I've ever made one that hasn't had a gator mouth. So that's a big goal for me. So I want to thank you again for joining me. And I hope you had some fun. I hope you come back and join me. And I hope that you like the video. So give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you have any questions on anything. And if you would like to share it, that would be super. I would love it if you shared the video. And if you have some friends that would like to join us, share it over with them. Tell them to come on over and play. There's always room for more friends at our craft table. Until I see you again at our next video, ta-ta for now.